Carnival is one of the main festival seasons of the Dominican Republic. Like other Afro-European Creole cultures, such as New Orleans and Brazil, the islands of the Caribbean have developed Carnival as a major festival folkway. Although historically tied to the Pre-Lenten Catholic festival, Dominican Carnival evolved as a popular expression of national unity, celebrating Independence Day on February 27th, and the later restoration of self-rule in August. Dominican Carnival is celebrated in most major cities and towns. In some cities, people party and parade informally every weekend throughout the month of February. The big national parade in Santo Domingo in late February or early March draws from all over the country. Growing importance as a tourist attraction is leading to the professionalization of some carnivals, especially the famous La Vega celebration in the Cibao Valley north of Santo Domingo. Some comparsas purchase their costumes, especially in La Vega and surrounding towns, while in many places the homemade costume persists, often made of recycled or scrap materials. In some towns, it is traditional to burn the costumes each year after Carnival. In others, they are given to poor children or sold to people from other towns. Celebrated La Vega mask maker Bule was one of the first carreteros formally educated in graphic design and sculpture. His high-style masks have greatly increased the pressure toward professionalism and costliness in La Vega Carnival outfits. Yet he insists that Carnival should never be primarily a spectator sport with crowds lined up to watch a parade. It should be a popular event in which everyone can participate. The work of mask maker Coyoya of La Vega appears in many museum collections. He began with traditional La Vega devil masks, which show strong European influence. During his career, he has moved toward the more fantastical and even science fiction-influenced direction that is now typical of La Vega. Because most La Vega outfits are quite expensive, some comparsas are sponsored by commercial enterprises, such as beer companies and banks. However, El Fillo, a major carretero and costume designer, says that most of his comparsas manage to buy without sponsorship, even though the members are often quite poor. They save their money, pay him on an installment plan, and sell last year's costumes to people from surrounding smaller cities to help defray the next year's expenses. Even with no money at all, Dominicans want to participate in Carnival. The lowest cost costumes are face paint or hairdos featuring toothpicks, paint, or elaborate hair ties. For many years, a particularly striking Santo Domingo trash costume has been made of bottle caps. A typical carnival accessory is the vejiga, an inflated bladder which is used to threaten and strike spectators. Getting hit is fun, but it also leaves bruises. Vejigas are traditionally made of cow or pig bladders, but they are now often cloth and rubber. Well-run carnivals include inspection of vejigas because some mischief makers have been known to put rocks and other dangerous materials in their bladders. The vejiga tradition may be related to whip fighting, which remains active in the northeastern city of Montecristi and in the southwestern region of Cabral. Bonao is a fairly young carnival and still in the process of developing its traditions. Although Bonao is developing a high-end practice, many people also parade in homemade costumes. Trapuces are particularly typical. They wear costumes made of rags, trapos. Perhaps this has the same roots as the Bonao cottage industry, making rag rugs with scraps from area clothing factories. The costume tradition of La Vega, featuring shiny fabrics and hoods with a devil-derived or science fiction monster mask, has been spreading to other towns nearby in the Cibao, such as Bonao. Some high-end Bonao costumes are bought secondhand in La Vega. But a distinctive Bonao mask style is now evolving, emphasizing birds and animals. In Bonao, as in most parts of the Dominican Republic, most carnival masks are made of papier-mâché. The Mudmen of Bonao appeared at the National Carnival Parade in Santo Domingo for the first time in 2002. The designer for Los Poderosos of Bonao seems to be familiar with Buddhist temple guardian figures. The duck-billed mask with horns, originally from Santiago, has become the generic Dominican mask. The most important traditional character of Dominican Carnival is the Diablo Cojuelo, the lame devil, who only pretends to be lame so that you won't run away too fast and he can catch you. Part of the church's opposition to Carnival is the belief that it encourages devil worship. The vast majority of the masked figures in Carnival represent the Diablo Cojuelo, sometimes called by other names. Another traditional character, the Tiznao, wears black makeup or, more commonly, used motor oil. Tiznaos appear to operate primarily alone or in pairs, but groups representing Africans or slaves are quite common. The figure called Roba la Gallina is seen in many cities, but she probably originated in San Cristobal, a city west of Santo Domingo. Her name means steal the chicken. No one is quite sure why. She is always portrayed by a man. A famous Roba la Gallina is Rowdy, an attorney from Santiago. Roba la Gallina is not considered a transvestite figure, but transvestites, or travestis, are very popular carnival figures. Religious and political caricatures are popular as well. Jesus Felix is one of several important mask designers in Santo Domingo. Members of his comparsa, Los Viejos Camellos, the Old Camels, work with him and his wife Estelle, who is a member of the Dragones, or Dragons. They make their masks together, and they also make masks for members of other comparsas.
Ellos están por ahí. Tenemos pocas muchachas.
Y hace así. Voy a mandar un saludo a la academia a la comparsa de los viejos camellos por habernos enseñado a hacer las caretas y por el desfile tan maravilloso que nos enseñó.
Muchas gracias a Jesús por enseñarnos nuestro el orgullo dominicano, nuestro carnaval dominicano. Muchas gracias a Jesús.
In several major cities, especially Santiago, Santo Domingo, and La Vega, comparsas go out on parade every Sunday throughout the month of February. Independence Day is February 27th, and the main national parade in Santo Domingo traditionally was held the following Sunday, drawing comparsas from all over the country. In 2004, pressure from the church and the military to disassociate Carnival from Independence Day resulted in the movement of the National Carnival back into March. The costumes of Santo Domingo are known for their ruffles, cowbells, and sometimes teddy bears or dolls fastened to the costume. Although the full Santo Domingo outfit includes a mask, many Santo Domingueños parade with their masks up on their heads or with no mask at all. Jesus Felix is one of several well-known designers in Santo Domingo. Another important designer is called El Chino because some people think he looks Chinese. In 2004, Santo Domingo's comparsas held a parade on the last Sunday of February, when the national parade was suddenly postponed. Their signs declared support for the federal district's own carnival.
La asociación, queremos que
Santiago, the second largest city in the Dominican Republic, is home to one of its major carnivals. Victor Dominguez makes traditional Santiago costumes and devil masks. They have a duck-billed mouth and long pointed horns. One type, with smooth horns, is worn by the residents of the Pepinero district. The other, with small spines all over the horns, represents the Joyero district. The Santiago devils are called lechones, or pigs. Dominguez also makes generic Dominican masks of the kind sold on streets all over the country, which developed from the Santiago style. For 25 years, he has sold masks and costumes every weekend in February on the corner of a small downtown park, which was the traditional site for Santiago Carnival. These days, to accommodate the crowds and television cameras, the festival takes place near Santiago's famous monument, originally built by the dictator Trujillo. Cotui is famous for complex homemade costumes made of banana leaves, newspaper, plastic bags, and other recycled materials. Cotui shows us Carnival at its finest. Most of the town turns out during the afternoon of Carnival Day to participate in walk-around in the downtown square. This is followed by a major parade involving groups from every sector of the town's population. The famous Platanuses of Cotui, perhaps the most famous figure, dressed in costumes made of banana leaves, with masks usually made from a large tree gourd called an higuero. In Cotui in 2004, the enthusiastic crowds wouldn't stay out of the route of march. A tiznao was used to control the crowd. When he came close to them, people would back off to avoid getting grease on their clothing. This famous carnivalero is called Juanpa. In 2002, he appeared in the Santo Domingo National Parade, dancing in an elaborate outfit made of crepe paper. These birds are dressed in costumes made of plastic bags. The stick construction is a bird trap used throughout the Dominican Republic. Reenactments of Indians and fights between settlers and Indians are traditional in many towns. These are classic papeluses, in costumes made of newspaper, or papel. These beautiful tigers are dressed in costumes made of plastic bags. The gorilla costumes are made of rice bags, which have been unwoven into their individual strips of reinforced plastic.